In today's show, we'll begin our conversation with the Tribunal Judgment, Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal Judgment, which of course took place on Tuesday, reaffirming the election of Senator Monday Okpebholo as the duly elected governor of Edo State. The PDP, the major opposition party, and its candidate, Aso Ighodalo, has since confirmed their intention to take the matter upstairs, that is the appeal court. Perhaps we may see the case getting to the Supreme Court. Who knows? That will be a major talking point on the show. And of course, that was on Friday. The governor visited the Oba of Benin to formally present his victory to him. I'm Sonny Duke Okosun, your host on the program. Let's meet our panelist on the show this lovely Saturday morning. Austin Adogame is joining us from Brimo is joining us from Abuja. Is a veteran media practitioner, is the immediate past National Commissioner South in the Police Service Commission, who will be joining us live from Abuja. And then, of course, Shedrack Uduba is a former special advisor to the state governor on politics and youth affairs. He will be joining us from Benin City in just a moment. We also have joining us, we're physically here in the studio, is a former Eastern Northeast local government chairman, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, and of course is a PDP Edo Central senatorial aspirant in the forthcoming Edo State governorship election, Honorable John Ehiva Chioma Yakuba. I just like the middle name. Thank you for joining us, John. We also have with us in the studio a former House of Representative candidate, is also a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, public affairs analyst, engineer Esosa Moegbe. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Okay, we have Austin Brimo joining us via Zoom from Abuja, the seat of power, FCT. Austin, many thanks for joining us on the program this beautiful Saturday.
I appreciate you. Let me greet all my family and friends and everyone in Edo State. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Okay, I'm not so sure. Shadrach has joined us virtually now, but as soon as he joins us, we'll give him due recognition. But let's get the conversation on. Well, on the 2nd of April, that's earlier this week, the Edo State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal, led by Honorable Justice Wilfred Bochi, gave its judgment on the protracted Edo State governorship election dispute, dismissing all the three petitions from the AA, from the AP, that is Action Alliance, Accord Party, and then finally the big one, the PDP. And that has created a lot of buzz in the political space, not just Edo State, but across the country, with reactions and counter-reactions trailing the judgment of the tribunal. The judgment was anchored on overvoting primarily, and the panelists held that the party and its candidate, through their counsels, couldn't prove overvoting. And that seems to be a major talking point. So, gentlemen, let's quickly get your buy-ins into the outcomes of the judgment by the tribunal. Let me begin with you, Engineer Omoegbe, quickly.
Well, the outcome of the tribunal is a very good one for us in the APC, and I believe is also a very good one for Edo people, because they reaffirm the victory given to Senator Monday Okpebholo at the polls. I've always said that there was no way Governor Obaseki could have produced a successor in Edo State because of the way he mismanaged the governance of Edo State. As a matter of fact, I refer to him as the head of the governmental banditry while he was
let's be civil with our language. Even though we have right of expression, let's try and be very cautious with that. Even if you say he mismanaged, I mean, you have to be specific in terms of impacts made in terms of achievement recorded? Rather, I'm just being generalist. You get exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Okay.
I was actually going to the specifics.
But that's even not the focus of the discussion.
Exactly.
I want us to get reactions to the judgment of the tribunal. Yes, for time's sake.
There was no way Obaseki could have produced a successor because it was very quarrelsome, and the Edo people summarily rejected him and the people he was projecting at the polls. To me, the reaction is a very good one. You saw the way people were rejoicing on the streets of Benin City, you know, that Monday Okpebolo was affirmed as the winner of the September 21st, 2023 Edo gubernatorial elections.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Omorogbe. Let me get to Austin Abdogame Brimo. What's your reaction like to this judgment, and what do you make of the reaction that have also greeted this judgment at the tribunal?
There's nothing new there. In a contest, there's always bound to be a winner and a loser. So reactions should not even be the focus, because if PDP had won, you definitely see a lot of people in the streets dancing. So APC won, so APC people, supporters must dance. So it's not the reaction. But what matters most to me is the substance. What is the contest about? Was there any chance that PDP expected that they could claim this victory given to APC? To me, none. Such chance does not really exist, because you recall that I was on this program some few days after the election. And I think I shared this platform with about two PDP members. I told them point blank that there's no way you could call this election rigged the way they saw it, because the victory came from the massive votes from Edo North. And I do not see how you will claim Edo North, where I voted, for instance, Esako, where all the PDP leaders had come to APC, I named them, including Danobi, who would have won his place. Ogiadome was the only one in Esako Central. There was no more PDP leaders. It was clear that a month to the election, all the leaders of the PDP, even in Akoko Edo, they all decamped to APC, including the former, this man from Ibilo. They all moved. So who would have garnered vote for the PDP? And I told them clearly that this victory, if you check what happened in Uredo, the votes in Uredo and some other areas, all the areas that PDP won, so marginal. And then the ones in the Edo North were massive. The victory they had in Edo Central, the victory were so marginal. So it was difficult for anybody to say this was rigged. So, and knowing the rigging pattern in Nigerian politics and elections, you will know where a candidate can rig and where it cannot rig.
Okay.
If they were going to be rigging, it would have been clear. So I know that it will be difficult for tribunal to upturn the victory attained by APC. Okay. Even going to appeal like we are looking at, it is just going to be the same waste of efforts. I said it earlier on, and it is coming to pass. All right.
Thank you, Austin. Let me come to John Yakubu. What's your take on the outcome of the tribunal? I heard the PDP said it's a travesty, is a huge travesty of justice.
Well, I have to align with the People's Democratic Party. That is our party, the chairman, Tony Adewini, and he has well described the court's verdict, the way it is. But let me say this, and I want every one of us here to listen and listen very well. Sometimes when we speak here, we're not speaking to ourselves. We're not speaking to party members. We're speaking to Edo people and the larger society who are there in the presence of our people who were present in the place or in the places where these elections were manipulated. And sometimes when we sit down, we begin to pontificate, to tell the people because A decamp and P decamp, those who voted honestly are pained that in spite of the fact that they gave their vote to Barrister Aswa Ighodalo, somebody somewhere along the line manipulated the process. And I tell you this, we cannot sit down here and begin to envision progress and begin to talk of development when the process of enthroning leadership in our society is faulty. People just steal and run away with it and say go to court. And that is where we find ourselves here. I'm not going to begin to talk about those who decamp or about those who remain in PDP. I want to tell you this. Look at the things we took to the tribunal. We didn't talk about the voting at the police station level. We talked at the collation. And we saw the result collated by INEC far and above the result that we got at the unit level. And all these things were submitted to the tribunal. And it is there, though I'm not a lawyer, that when you have this far so submitted, needless of bringing people to begin to speak to those papers as if they were there. Those papers were certified by the same INEC and they brought them there. Like I said at the beginning, like he did mention, the party is going on happy. But if we continue on this our journey, the way we are going as a people, then we'll better forget about democracy and begin to think of other things that we can introduce on the way to govern our people. Because what we see today, people begin to talk about voting and big victory in an election that you go back to your room, go back to your closet, and you are aware that that election was rigged for you. And you think the people are happy. I'm here with my brother who said people jubilated. That APC, I'm happy his friends on Zoom said APC members jubilated. If your people are jubilating over a stolen mandate, who will stop them? I tell you this. What happened in the political process, which I think must stop, is this. When they steal for you, like they did for APC, you sit there rejoicing. Tomorrow, when that same thing is taken from them or justly to another party, you see the other party, instead of telling the truth, they come out to say, oh no, it's our victory. That must change if we must have development. Because politicians are the most fearful set of people on earth. Once they know that the right thing will be done, people will vote according to their consciences. Honestly speaking, we'll begin to move on the path of development in this society. But what we have now is worse than robbery. And a lot of persons, you will know, you go to the street, a lot of persons, a lot of Nigerians that registered in the last registration because of what have happened during the presidential election and the Edo State gubernatorial election. A lot of them are saying, no, there's no need to go to vote. Because you go to the polling station to vote, your vote is counted, but that vote will not count. Because some persons at the end of the affair hijack it midway into the process and deliver it to whoever they want to deliver it to. That has happened to me. You knew that. You saw Edo people saw it. So when I speak to Edo people on this issue, I am sure, not just speaking on TV the way we sit down and say, oh, we won, Edo people are rejoicing, they voted for. That is not correct. Edo people are aware that their mandate was stolen. So even if that mandate stolen by APC is being rubber stamped by a tribunal judge, that does not mean that that stolen mandate was given to APC. That is the position of Edo people. So when we come here to speak to Edo people, to those people who voted, I am aware and I know when they sit down to watch us, they say, oh, these people haven't stolen our mandate. A time will come because karma is real.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, John Yakubu. If you just join us, it's still Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio.